What's the difference between a vegan and a computer programmer? So the vegan is disgusted by a rack of lamb, and the computer programmer is disgusted by a lack of RAM. Hey kids, Adam here. Today we're going to do a bass shootout of sorts. In my right hand here is the 2020 Fender American Original 60s Precision Bass, and in my left hand is the Harley Benton PB-20 SBK. This Harley Benton is $114 US. Now, I call it a $200 bass because there is a $75 shipping and handling charge to get it from Germany to the US. It comes in at like $194 or something. That equals $200 to me as far as rounding up. This one was $19.99. That's $1,999 US when I bought it. It's actually gone up a couple $100 since then, but I'm calling this the $2,000 bass. I'm calling this the $200 bass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some sound samples. I'm going to play the same line on both basses. I'm not going to tell you which bass is which. We're just going on, one is going to be called like bass A and the other one's going to be called bass B. We'll see which one is which at the end of the video, but I want you to use your ears and see which one you think. Is it the more expensive one? Is it the cheaper one? And then we're going to get into Reaper. I'm going to mix the bass into the song using only Reaper stock plugins, kind of show you a couple tips and tricks that I use for mixing bass. And then we'll see if we can really tell the difference in a mix. This should be really fun and really interesting. So let's get to it. All right. So when I came up with the idea for this video, this was actually late 2021. I decided I wanted to do, let's see if we can find the cheapest bass off of Amazon. And we're talking like dirt cheap, probably Chinese made, probably going to have some issues with it. It's not going to sound as good, and just kind of do like a blind comparison or maybe a live comparison to my $2,000 Fender Precision bass. So I got one. And as soon as I got it, it changed my idea for this video. So here is the Polar Aurora new full-size 4-string blue electric bass guitar, plus amp, cord, plus really cheap, I don't know if you can even see how cheap this is, strap, plus a gig bag, which is on the border of somewhere between vinyl and plastic, and I already threw it away. It is cool looking. I mean, it has a cool finish to it if you can see it here, but it's super light. The neck is made out of, I don't know, balsa wood. There's a knot right on the back. If you can see right under my finger there, you can feel the knot in the neck. There's a knot on the bass somewhere that you can see. It just, I got it set up. I put new strings on it. Actually, I put a set of older strings on it, and then I started playing it. And I'm going to pop up a picture here of what it did to my finger. And that's because all the frets along the side are just jutting out, sharp edges, angles, just sticking out, not comfortable to play. And I originally was just going to scrap the idea of this video. In fact, I don't even want to touch this thing. It's not even a comparison. It doesn't sound very good. It's really low gain on it. I didn't feel right doing it. I felt like there was going to obviously be a winner. I mean, one's $2,000, one's $100, but or $105.99 as of today, which is May 1st, 2022. I do not recommend buying this. It's not very good at all. So I kind of scrapped the idea for the video until I saw a video from Bass the World on the Harley Benton. I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to get your ears, persuaded in one way or another. But they did a video on this Harley Benton bass, and I went and took a look at it, and it was $114 US with like a $75-ish shipping and handling and things because they have to get it through customs and across the border into the US and everything like that. So I bought it. I actually got it within like 4 days, which is pretty impressive coming from Germany to the US. Now, granted, I'm almost paying as much shipping as the bass is worth, but the bass is really nice. In the end, I'll post my unboxing video of it with a couple sound samples and things. What I did is I got it dialed in. I put the same set of strings that I have in my P-Bass, which is a set of Zahn nickel round wounds in medium gauge. And so I have both basses have the same strings. And I decided to, kind of mess around with it. And then this video idea came back up, because now we have a $200 bass that's actually really good for the, not even for the money. It's really good. I think it sounds as good as $700 or $800 basses that I've played in the past. But what I want to do is do like a blind taste test, or not taste test, sound test video, and see if you guys can tell the difference. So let's start with Reaper. I'm just going to show, I'm going to name these things bass A and bass B. At the end of the video, I will, reveal which bass is which. But for now, you're not going to find out which one's which. You're not going to see which one's which. I'm not going to play these live because there's too many mistakes that I could make in giving it away. And you guys who go frame by frame and try to find stuff, you would figure me out because I'm not that clever. So instead, I recorded bass lines before recording this video. And what we're going to do is just play them in Reaper, and you can hear what they both sound like. So onwards over to Reaper. I have two different songs that I've recorded bass lines to, and we'll see what they sound like. All right, here we are on Reaper. This is a song you guys have heard before on this channel. It's called Strange by Underground Hive, which is my band. I'll put a card here for the song on YouTube. And this is bass A. And again, in both songs, bass A is going to be the same bass, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until the end of the video. I want you guys to put in the comments which one you think it is. Is bass A the Fender, or is bass A the Harley Benton? Let me know what you think as this video goes on, and feel free to change your mind between songs. What I'll do first is just play these bass parts as is, with no processing or anything other than just gain staging. Here we go, bass A. And here is bass B. All right, what do you think? Which one's which? Write in the comments, send me a message, do something. Let me know. Let's go to the second song. All right, the second song, the working title on it is called Future. This is the song that I'm going to feature in my mix course that I kind of started. I'll put a video up here to the editing drums video that I did. We're still working on this song. In fact, as you can see here, all we have is drums. I still need to record bass. We need to go through all the tracking process. And then when we get to mixing, I'll start putting out videos as I do it. So same thing here. The bass A is the same as bass A from the last song. Bass B is the same as bass B for the last song. Now what I did is on both basses, I took the volume knob all the way up, the tone knob all the way up. It's a precision, so there's only two knobs on it, no active pickups, no active electronics or anything. So I had the same settings coming in, even though the pickups are completely different and the makeup of the bass is completely different. So that said, here is bass A. And here's bass B. Again, which one is which? Tell me in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right, we're back in the first song, Strange. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my bass into the song using pretty much the same techniques that I do when I mix my bass normally, except I'm going to use all plugins that are built into Reaper. I was thinking about using some of the Toucan plugins, but I figured I would just use Reaper plugins. That's another video altogether, and we'll get to that at some point in the future. So what I've done here, I want to do EQ, I want to do compression, I want to do saturation, and maybe just a little distortion like I had on the original track. So first thing I want to do is bring up Re-EQ here. My default EQ just has a high pass and a low pass filter. I'm gonna move the high pass down to like 40-ish, and then I'm gonna solo the bass out here, find out what that like decent bass frequency is, and emphasize that a little bit. Here we go. That sounds pretty good. Now I want to find like the boxy frequency that makes it sound like it's in a cardboard box. I want to cut that. Now I want to take and emphasize some of the highs. So somewhere around 1K-ish and somewhere around 3 or so, 3K. To make it easy, I'm just going to use bumps of 3 dB and cuts of 3 dB just to, as a bass starting here. The next thing I want to do is I want to go to where the kick is and take out whatever frequency I'm boosting on the kick, which is 60 hertz. And I will change this to a band. I will put this down to 60. And I'm going to do a 3 dB cut with a slightly smaller Q here. So with all those things in, here's what the bass sounds like by itself. Very, very similar, not a whole lot going on. In fact, I may want to boost the bass up just a little bit. Put this up to like 5. See what it sounds like here. Yeah, I like that. So next thing I want to do is compression. I use the 1176 in the original track. I'm going to use the 1175, which is Reaper's version of the 1176. So put the 1175 in. Ratio of 4:1 is fine. Attack kind of halfway in the middle. That looks good. Release, that looks good to start. I'm gonna look for like 3 to 5 dB gain reduction here. So what I did is I brought down the threshold until I got the gain reduction meter down here about 3 to 5 dB, and then I added some makeup gain to match. Next thing I want to do is I want to copy this thing, so I can just do Control-C, Control-V, and make sure that it's doing the same types of settings. It sounds good. Next, I'm going to use JS Saturation. I like this plugin a lot. I found around 75 to 90 or so is kind of the sweet spot for this plugin. So I'll just kind of play it and dial it in. That sounds good. And last, I'm going to use the, I want a little bit more like not distortion, but like grit. And there's a plugin called Wave Shaping Distortion, JS Wave Shaping Distortion. Works really well for that. In fact, I've used this in a couple previous videos. Let's just kind of play and dial it in. You really get distortion over like 90%, but I'm looking for more of a heavier saturation. Now you notice I added a lot of volume, so what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to need to lower the fader quite a bit. I could put on like JS volume and lower the volume here in the plugins, but this is the last plugin in the chain, so it's not really going to go through anything else. So I'll just do it with the fader, and now we can dial it into the mix. Might be a little heavy on bass there. Let's compare it to the original bass here, which is this bass DI. I think it sounds pretty good. So let's copy these plugins over to bass B. I'm just doing click and drag here. I could do the on the FX button itself, but I don't want to mess with the gain staging thing I had set up. I also need to take the fader down. This one's at negative 5.48. If I right click on this, I can just type in negative 5.48, hit enter, and now the fader should be the same. Let's see what they sound like. I did lower it a little bit. Let's lower the other one the same amount. And we'll go back. I'm going to go back and forth on these, and I'll put something on the screen which lets you know which one is which. All right, which bass did you think is which? This is your last chance to put something in the comments and let me know which bass is bass A, which bass is bass B, and why. Why did you think one was the other? I thought they sounded pretty close. Now, obviously, I know which one's which, so I'm kind of biased, but I thought they were close enough and almost able to pass off as the same bass. I think what I could have done is some EQ on one over the other to make it sound more the same. But with gain staging everything getting at the same level, I think you could play one off and not even know. So, drum roll please. Insert cool video of a drum roll or something. Bass A is the Harley Benton bass. Bass B is the Fender. Did you get it right? Were you close? What gave it away if you got it right, or what made you think that it was one or the other? I will say some things about this bass. This is very, very neck heavy. The bass overall is lighter than the Fender, definitely, by a lot. I think this is basswood. I don't know what, I'm not big on like specs and crazy technical specs of basses and things. I just know if they sound good, if they feel good. This one plays really well, but the way the bridge is, it probably needs some fret work. I can't get the strings as close to the fingerboard. I'm going to hold this up and we can compare to the other one. I can't get the strings as low as I'd like them, so I don't get a lot of that growl that you kind of hear, and I don't have it plugged into an amp or anything, but you can kind of just... I like the growl of the string kind of resonating against the frets and against everything. I don't really get that a lot on this bass. It plays fine. The neck is fine. The neck is actually this matte finish neck, and it's really, really, really smooth to play. Now, the other bass, this, I'll show you the string height here. You can see it's much closer to the fingerboard, and when I dig into that B flat, there's actually a weird like ring there. It doesn't come through the recording, so I don't really care about it too much, but I really get that growl, and I can dig in. I really get that. I can dig in a lot more. And I think it's just a matter of the other bass might need a setup, but this neck I can get much straighter, and I can get the strings much lower. Now, this does have this shiny finish, like lacquer finish on the neck that I don't like as much. In fact, I mean, overall, I like the neck of like this Zahn, which is more of a smooth, fast jazz neck than this like tree trunk baseball bat thing on the P bass. But I really like the way this bass sounds, plays, feels. There's no neck dive just because the body is so damn heavy. This thing weighs, I would say, at least 50% more than the Harley Benton. But then again, it's also made to be a much more expensive bass. So that said, I will put a card here to my unboxing of the Harley Benton. I will put it, once the YouTube goes for a little bit and puts a card and then puts it down, I'm just stalling here for time. Then I'll put a card for the my Fender P-Bass complete walkthrough. I haven't done a walkthrough on the Harley Benton. I may, or I may just kind of use this video as that. So if you are looking for a budget bass, especially if like you're a guitarist or drummer or keyboard or songwriter, and you're looking for a bass for the studio, and you're not a bassist by trade, this thing is a slam dunk. Definitely get it. $200 to the US in like 4 days. Now, granted, this was a couple months ago that I got it, but it showed up here so fast. I was just amazed. I was amazed it came from Germany in 4 days to the United States. If you're a bassist and you want to invest in some time, maybe taking it to a shop, getting some fretwork done on it, maybe putting another bridge in it. I think the pickup sounds great. I think that would be a good idea to do, because then maybe you can gig with this thing. I wouldn't worry about the neck dive too much if you have a nice quality strap. I always wear a strap when I play, even sitting down. I learned that trick from Billy Sheehan many, many, many years ago. And it's not really a big deal, but I did notice that once somebody brought it up in the comments. Now, he said he was going to put like a steel bar on the body of the bass. I don't know if I recommend that. That seems kind of extreme. But maybe getting a different, heavier strap. I have a real wide strap, like on this bass back here. This is like a 3.5-inch leather strap. I think that would work really well. But anyway, did you get it right? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If it was easy, if it was hard to figure out which one was which, if you got it right, if you got it wrong, if you want more of this kind of thing. I don't know how many more I can do. Maybe the purple bass behind me here, I could do against the P bass with a blind shot, shootout kind of thing. Let me know if you have any questions on mixing bass. I did a real quick, 2-minute mix on this thing. I'm sure there's better ways I can get it dialed in, but until next time, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, post it on, video sites or bass sites or Reaper sites or whatever. And until next time, have yourselves an amazing week. In my right hand to your left is the 2020 Fender Precision. What the hell is this thing called? I don't know what my own bass is called. Fender American Original 60s Precision based in my based. This here is a $100 piece of junk I got off of Amazon. All right, here we are on Reaper. This is a song you guys have heard. It's the song Strange by my man by my man. I love the gong sound this makes when I drop my cup back on my cup holder here. Burn.